one of the least popular things I've done for myself is getting rid of people in my life that don't serve me very well. How important and how have you done that in your world?
Critical. I don't really talk to anybody regularly other than like my team that's very close to me, people that I'm working with. Because you'll get texts like, hey bro, you want to come out? It's like, dog, I can't. Like, I'm working Saturday night. Hey, you want to go out to the club? Like, I literally can't. Like, I'm working on this. I'm going to get put behind if I don't do this. And I know logically the best thing in my head to do is not go out to this club right now. It's to finish doing what I need to do.
Superpowers. I got superpowers. Superpowers. I got superpowers.
Danny Seliger, welcome to the show. Welcome to Become Your Own Superhero.
Laban, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate this. Well,
Dude, con gusto, as they say here in Medellin, Colombia. It's your first trip out of the United States.
yes, sir.
What do you think?
Don't know if I'll go back anytime soon, to be honest.
Danny, there was a number of reasons why I was excited that you very generously agreed to come on the podcast today. The podcast, Become Your Own Superhero, is for really brilliant communicators that have a message that will empower, inspire, and motivate. And at 21, you're probably one of the most articulate speakers that I've ever come across. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your date, as they say in Australia, but I'm really fascinated to learn how you got to that point in your life, because there's some really valuable lessons. And folks, if you're just tuning in for the first time, or this is the 230th episode, if you have any desire, any wishes, any goals of crushing, building a brand for yourself, this is the guy that you want to pay attention to today, Mr. Danny Seliger. So, what does Become Your Own Superhero mean to you?
Dude, honestly, thanks for the intro, by the way, too. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, it means a lot. You don't have to gas it up that much. But being in your own superhero, to me, it just, honestly, for me, it's just becoming somebody that I respect. Like, becoming someone who actually respects yourself. I think that the hardest respect to gain is one's own. So I think that if I can wake up, put in the effort every single day, and be proud of the inputs that I'm putting in, the outputs will not only come, but I'll be proud of myself, and that's being a superhero.
Oh, I love it, dude. I love it. The one of the things in researching you, and I always like to respect my guests and plow through a lot of their knowledge, and yours is predominantly through Instagram, right? And you got to, at time of recording, it's January 2024, 1.7 million. And I just want to mention there, not for any other reason, just for context. This is 7 years in the making.
Yeah, I was 14 when I started this.
Did you have any idea that this is the direction you want to take it?
At the time, I mean, yeah, you want to grow it as big as possible, but I mean, it's probably been 4 or 5 different niches and types of content since then. Like, I wasn't getting on the camera talking about how to crack the algorithm at 14. I was making sure I didn't do perfect. So,
the only thing cracking at 14 was probably your voice, right?
Yeah, no, it was. So it's fun. It's funny looking at some of the videos in the archives. It's like, wow, like that was 7 years ago. Like, that was a real squeaker right there. But hey, props to him for getting started. So,
well, we were just talking off camera, like the youngest New York Times ever bestseller, 11-year-old kid out of Florida. He wrote a kid's book based on his experiences being bullied and stuff. And then the mofo reached out to a literary agent and got a deal.
Dude, you were telling me he's like New York Times bestseller at 11 years old.
Yeah,
that's obviously kind of impressive, I would say. But what I thought was more impressive is that you said this dude cold called like a publishing company, or he cold called like somebody and got the deal, which I thought was even more impressive than writing the bestseller, because like that takes courage, and a lot of like men and older people can't bring themselves to do that. Guy did it at 11 successfully. Like, props, bro.
Yeah, he called literary agent, and he ran through, and because he Googled how to write a book, or how to sell a book, and it was like, the first thing you do is a literary agent. It's like, okay, then the beast took it very literally, and I saw a lot of myself in there, because I've made a lot of cold calls and made some outlandish connections as a direct result of just having the balls to be rejected. And I'm curious to know, it's a slightly different dynamic with what you're doing, Danny, but like, how much rejection have you experienced over the last 7 years?
Oh my gosh, a lot. And I can say with full confidence that if I were to take some of the nights during like junior high and high school, after like getting bullied in school for putting out content that, to be fair, at the time it wasn't good. Like, these guys were giving me advice. But at the time, it seemed like real, like bullying, like making fun of in the cafeteria and stuff like that. If I not overcame that, 100% would not be here right now. So it's rejection from that. I've made all my money through like sales through Instagram, direct sales. You take a ton of rejection in the messages. You take a ton of rejection on the phone. Like I've knocked doors, cold called, like tons of rejection. But like there's only two ways that it could go. You get a yes, which is awesome, and you get what you want, or you get a no and you become better as a result. But most people fear the no, so they don't even do it in the first place. The no doesn't even feel that bad to get it. I feel like, is that just me or?
Dude, it's horrendous. It's horrendous.
And I feel it's worse though, like thinking about getting the no, like paralyzing yourself in your head before you even do it. And then when someone actually says no to you, like, it really doesn't feel that bad. It feels worse as not acting on it because you're afraid of it. At least that's what I feel.
Do you think you've trained yourself to a point now where you're like, you kind of looking forward to it now?
Not looking forward to no, but like expecting it.
Yeah.
Never expect anything. When your expectations are high, you're always disappointed. When expectations are low, they always get exceeded, so you're happy. So if you expect everything to be really good and it's average, then it's going to seem bad. But if you expect everything to be really bad, you expect to get the no, and then you get an average reply, it's like, oh, it's a win. When you expect everything to be bad, everything else will be good as a result.
Because you DoorDashed when you were a young man for a bit, huh?
A lot. Like 16 hours a day. Like every day.
How many people gave you a 0 tip?
But to be fair, on DoorDash, you could pick the orders you wanted to do. If I saw a 0 tip order, I was not taking that.
What kind of person has someone who's probably got enough for the meal and that's it? They got no more money.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, that's a whole different philosophy. I don't think you should be ordering DoorDash if you don't have to tip. Like, you can go
That's a really, really good
go to the grocery store and cook yourself. But hey, there's all types of things that will go wrong.
That's a really good point. That's probably the most profound thing so far of the podcast. I think, yeah, you shouldn't be ordering DoorDash if you don't have enough money to tip. That's a really good point. I typically don't get a lot of stuff delivered. When I do, I love tipping when I can. You know, big tips. I know you're a fan of doing that from time to time as well. Where'd you learn that?
I actually got it from Jimmy Rex in the $100 tip club, $100 dinner club. So we went to an event, was the Limitless Arena in Salt Lake City. I actually saw Brad there, saw Andy there, bunch of cool guys.
Brad Lee, Andy Elliott, and
Yes, sir. Dan Fleischman hosted the event. He's an absolute beast. Jimmy Rex spoke about the $100 dinner club, $100 tip club. And it was like you kind of go out, tip big, get the whole group to do it so that you like make the waiter or waitress's night. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, I love going to Chili's. Like, why not like drop a $100 tip at Chili's? And we've done that a couple of times. And like every single time, I've never really like looked for the reaction. I will drop in and leave because I don't want to like have cameras on and it'll like see the reaction. That doesn't matter to me. I know will have an impact. I don't need to like see what it happens, but I also take big time on the DoorDashes too. Like, I know someone's out there hustling. They're just like me, like trying to make the couple bucks, and like I love dropping a big tip on DoorDash too. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny when you've been in the trenches. When I left school, I trained as a chef for like a year and a half. And I hated it. I think I worked 31 days straight once, and like 18-hour days. Wow, just like you just burn out after a while. So I really appreciate the effort that goes into preparing my meal when I'm out for dinner. Yeah. And, you know, especially being in Colombia as well, like you can tip an amount that might be someone's half, two weeks' wages, you know, like,
yeah,
you know, and it doesn't make a big dent in what you're doing.
Exactly. It could be like an average tip for an expensive dinner in Miami, and you're like paying almost a month's salary.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. Obviously, there's quite a lot of content on the internet with people that document and film a lot of the generosity. What's your take on that?
I think it's really good to do. It depends on where it's coming from, though. If it's coming from a point of like, I need to be recognized for my actions, I don't think that that's good. But if it's coming from a point of like, I want to do this to show others, that it's almost like people need permission to do stuff like that. Because everyone thinks about tipping big. But if you're putting the content out there to almost give the world permission to do it and inspire other people to do the same thing, I think that that's awesome because it has a compound effect. Like Jimmy Rex, he does it because he wants other people to do it. Inspired me to do it. I don't know if I would have thought to randomly drop a $100 tip at Chili's on a random Thursday night after coming back from Salt Lake City if I didn't go to that event and listen to Jimmy talk. So
what can people do that maybe aren't there financially that can impact positively other people's lives?
Genuine compliment. It's like genuine. Like when I'm at the grocery store, like Publix in Florida or something like that, I see someone with nice glasses, I'll be like, dog, like, how are those glasses? Like, those are sick. And I had a mentor, my biggest mentor, Chris McGinnis is a beast. He told me, if you can't give somebody a compliment, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, who are you? If you can't give somebody a compliment, like every person a compliment you see, like, dude, these like gems right here on your suit, they're sick. Like, I want to know more about them. I'm going to ask you about them after you get off here. I was like, dude, nice suits. I meant it. That's the key, is you mean it. And if you can't see somebody and have something to compliment them about, like, you got to humble yourself a little bit and find something, because there's something in everybody to compliment and respect.
Amen, brother. And it was very genuine. I felt that as well. You come across very sincere. There's not I think Instagram influencers might get an unjust bad rap from time to time, but it's one of the things that struck me about you. You're like very genuine and no agenda, very generous with your knowledge, and you probably get people pumping you for information like all day, every day. How do you manage that?
Well, I appreciate the comment about like being genuine. It also goes both ways. Like if I don't like it, you'll probably know it. I'll try to do a good job behind it. So
yeah,
well, nice. That means I like you and I appreciate you having me on here. But honestly, like, I love just giving value to the world. Like, I will stay in late on Saturdays, Fridays, studying, working extra. And if I can put in those hours to get it into my brain so that I can regurgitate it at a more comprehensible level for somebody else, I think that's a good thing for me, and I'm putting good out into the world. So I'm happy with doing it. As long as I'm getting bad vibes from the person. You know, if the person is also genuine and I know they do the same for me, if the situation was flipped, like 100%, I have no problem just teaching the game that I learned.
One of the probably the best things I've ever done for myself is one of the least popular things I've done for myself is getting rid of people in my life that don't serve me very well. How important and how have you done that in your world?
Critical. I don't really talk to anybody regularly other than like my team that's very close to me and people that I'm working with and my mom. Like, those are the only people that really hear from me every day. How? Just do the things you need to do. If you're doing enough of the things you need to do, the rest will automatically fall into place, because you'll get texts like, hey, bro, you want to come out? It's like, dog, I can't. Like, I'm working Saturday night. Hey, you want to go out to the club? Like, I literally can't. Like, I'm working on this. I'm going to get put behind if I don't do this. And I know logically the best thing in my head to do is not go out to this club right now. It's to finish doing what I need to do so that I can be ahead on Sunday, because when you're hungover and waking up at 11:30, I want to be also up at 6 on Sunday in the gym and still working. So I know what I need to do. You're going to lose a lot of friends doing that, though. If you're not catering to other people and just saying yes to everything, even when it doesn't make sense, like, you're going to lose friends in it. For me, I'd rather have less friends. I think friend is a really high, like, tier. Like, if I call you a friend, like, that's really big. Everyone's acquaintances. So you're going to lose a ton of friends if you do stuff like that, but it's totally necessary. It just depends. Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather be significantly ahead of the curve for your image or in life in general? Or would you rather make sure that you hit the club every time it's Friday or Saturday night or even Thursdays? Like, which would you rather do? For me, I'd rather sacrifice the weekends and be at it. And it's served me well so far, so I'll continue doing the behavior that serves me.
I bet you there's a number of people watching this going, yeah, but I bet you Danny was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and he had access to all this stuff. Like, what? Give us the origin story, man.
Dude, I will say the silver spoon that I got was supportive family. I know that I can make any mistake, any blunder, like, mess up very, very badly. And I can go back home and my mom will give me the nicest hug ever and say, I know you'll get up next time, and mean it. So I will say, like, that's the silver spoon that I have. But, like, I still drive the $1,000 car that I bought when I was 16 for myself in high school that I DoorDash and put 160,000 miles on. I feel it's my face. It's up on my face. Like, there are people, bro, like, just buy a nicer car. Like, you do upper. So I'm like, I don't need to. This car, I've driven from New York to Florida twice. DoorDash put like 100,000 miles on it just from DoorDash. I mean, when I tell you I was doing 16 hours a day, like, every day for like half a year, it's crazy. So I don't think that I have a silver spoon at all, other than supportive family. But I think that even if you don't have that, you can flip it, because if you have pain that's inside or like something that is missing and you feel the need to like prove yourself to people or like prove people wrong, I think that can be very powerful. So I think that whether you have supportive family or you don't have supportive family, either way, you can use it as a positive. It just depends on how you look at it. Because if you view everything that you have as a negative, it's like, oh, well, my family doesn't support me, so I can't do this. Well, of course you're not going to do it. But if you look at it from the lens of like, my family doesn't support me, I want their support, so I'm going to prove it to them that I can do it. Both people are in the same position, but one of them goes far and one of them stays and sits on the couch and still plays Fortnite until they're 31.
There's some depressing stuff right there, isn't it? I never played Fortnite. I missed the boat with that.
I enjoyed some good Fort with the boys as that occasionally during COVID. I fired up PS4 in a couple of years.
No, there's no judgment of mine. I worked out because escapism was my big coping mechanism for a long time, right? When I was a kid, it was TV and movies, and then it became Sega Master System, and then Sega Master System 2, and then the PlayStation came about, I think when I was like 15.
Really?
Like Crash Bandicoot and all these games. I legitimately spent thousands of hours. I worked out ones that I watched non-stop, equivalent The Simpsons for 3 months.
Like 3 months of time?
Wow. Yeah. Like insane, just poor use of time.
I got to ask after you say that.
Yeah.
Does that mean you believe that they like predict the future? What's your take on that after watching 3 months?
Oh, man, it's some fascinating stuff, isn't it? Legit, I think, and I've read, have you heard about like Project Looking Glass and stuff?
What is up?
So there's some deep CIA ops stuff where apparently there's something called Project Looking Glass, completely out of direction, but where they can see into the future. And it wouldn't shock me if you look at things like Project Mockingbird. Have you heard about this? Project Mockingbird's, this is pretty good information, you can find this anyway. So the CIA, post-World War II, put operatives into the media to control the media narrative.
Very believable.
Like legit. Like, they admitted it. So is it then possible that one of those people with insight into this crazy technology that exists ends up as an advisor to Matt Grading and whatever the guy from The Simpsons?
Some of this stuff's crazy. It's crazy, man. Some of this crazy you see. You fire up a TikTok, you see the stuff with like Kobe in the helicopter or like Trump getting elected. Like it's crazy stuff. I never watched The Simpsons. I wasn't even allowed to watch SpongeBob growing up. I was very sheltered. But I think that it served me really well. But like you see this stuff on like YouTube or clips or like a TikTok, and it's like Simpsons predicting the future 27 times. And as someone who's never watched it, I'm like, what? Like, well, what is this? So I was really curious to hear your thoughts.
It's pretty legit, dude. It's pretty legit. And I suppose when you're watching it at the time as a kid, because I was forbidden from watching it as well. Mum was a born-again Christian and had a friend that lived in the United States and warned her about this impending show. Hey, don't let your kids watch. So that just made you want to watch it more. Yeah. It became my favorite show in the end. All right, Mum. Sorry about that. But I don't know. It's the way that you handle Instagram makes me think maybe you've got some future technology insight into what's happening.
Definitely not seeing the future, but hey, if I can create some of it, then I think that'd be cool too. I think that a lot of people know what they should be doing with any aspect of life, but they just don't do it because they think that it's not the norm. I learned a very good lesson. I'm actually glad that this inspired me to say this, because this is a good story that I never really tell to anybody because I forget to, because it happened when I was in 3rd grade. We're going on a field trip. We want to go like on a hike or something like that. And the chaperone, she stops us, so she has this leaf. And she's like, what do you guys think this leaf smells like? And the first girl, she was like a smart girl in the class. She sniffs it. She goes, it smells like basil. So what the fuck's basil? In 3rd grade, I don't know what to say. And then they give it to the next kid. Oh, I think it smells like basil. I think it smells like basil. Give it to me. I'm like, shit smells like Fruit Loops. What are you guys talking about? I go, basil. Give it to them. I didn't know what basil was. I thought it smelled like Fruit Loops. I gave it back. So everyone else said basil. He starts to goes, wow, I really thought this smelled like Fruit Loops. I'm like, ever since then, I have never conformed to what other people. Like, if there's a group opinion, I will always say what is my opinion. I would pretty lesson to learn. I 8 years old. Like, I don't know who the teacher's name was, but shout out that field trip, because I've never conformed after that. So that was a really good lesson to learn. But I think where I'm going with this is people know how to be true to themselves. They just don't do it because they think that they're going to get judged, or they think that if they're wrong, they're going to look stupid. When in reality, each of the times that I've defied what the normal is or what you're supposed to do or what everybody's doing, that's when you get ahead, because no one's doing it. If you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, you got to run faster than them. If everyone else is running, you have to be the fastest runner. But if you're like, guys, like there's a car right here, and you get in the car, you can step on the gas a little bit, you can pass everybody. But if you're like, oh, everybody's running, I think the fastest way to go 10 miles is just to run. Everyone else is doing it. I know there's a car right there, but I'd be the only one doing it. You're going to go the 10 miles way faster by taking the car if you have the balls to pick up the keys and get into it. But the only problem with actual life is that it's not as obvious as a car next to you with a goal of going 10 miles. Everyone's smarter than they think they are. They just all listen to themselves.
Amen, brother. Amen. Now I resonate with that so much. You need to reach out to that teacher and thank her, because you can. You read a chapter, teacher, and you know what?
I'm thinking about that.
Like you talk about a genuine compliment. Imagine what her day will be like if you do go out of your way. It won't take you much to find who it is. Get a phone number from someone. I'll have it. Say, hey, it's Danny. Just want to thank you for that experience. Like this is my challenge to you. I want you to report back.
I will.
You do that for us?
Yes.
That's awesome, dude. Because I think these are just little things that have made dramatic impacts clearly on your life, and I know certainly on mine. And that what we're talking about is it's a teacher that had a massive impact on my life. She gave me money when I was 6 years old for a birthday party that my mum couldn't afford, and the thrill that Miss Mandy experienced, hearing from me, all those like 35 years later, or whatever it was, crazy, like humbling stuff.
Wow. Yeah, you gotta figure that out.
Which I think it's just becoming more intentional, right? Like one of my big philosophies is what value can I add this person's life in whatever capacity. And it's not always perfect, but like as you do it more and more and more, you become more intentional, you become more aware of it, and you get better at helping solve people's challenges.
Yes.
Especially if you're humble, because if you don't know the answer, which is a good chunk of the time, because you've try and solve so many other challenges, you've got all these resources. There's a book that you've read that you can recommend, someone that's brilliant in that space. I know you're a big personal development fan. You love reading, love researching. Dropped out of college to go and spend time researching.
Yeah, pretty much. Dropped out of college so I can get educated.
And a 4.0 GPA, which for our non-American friends is about as good as it gets, right?
That's perfect, yeah. It's cool. We just send up on Valley now. I want to talk about dropping out of college too, because anybody that knows me, I can ramble about this in a good way. At least I think. But when you were talking about like giving value to other people, it reminds me of Christmas. When you're a kid, you look forward to Christmas so you can open the presents. You hope Santa's coming. What's he going to bring me this year? You want to open the presents. When you grow up, and this has just clicked over the past couple of years for me. I was 17, so you're still excited for the presents. Now it's like, what can I give to people in particular that will put a smile on their face? Because that's the real joy of the Christmas. I could give a shit what I get right now. I'm fine. Like, I'm doing good. If it's something real thoughtful that doesn't cost anything, like that's the best gift for me. So I want to give gifts like that to other people. It's not the presents that are under the tree now once you get older. It's the gifts and the feeling that you can give to other people, like doing something thoughtful. And that happens when you grow up from kid to adult. Most people just never do that in real life. They always just want to take, and they're still kids on Christmas instead of adults that enjoy giving instead of getting. So once you pass that threshold from like taker to giver, so many more opportunities start to open up for you too. You can just give. You're gonna keep getting introduced to more people. They're like, oh, I think this guy will want some giving too, and they just give to that person. That person introduces you to 7 new people. One of those 7 throws you in a group chat. Next thing you know, your network's fat. You're from giving.
Are you a Zig Ziglar fan?
I haven't got too much into him because one of the first things I studied about sales cemented into my head that sales isn't the same as it was 30 years ago. And I believe that. It wasn't just like the first impression I got where I was like, oh, well, maybe that's not true. I think that sales has developed so much to where now the average consumer has obviously access to the internet and can look up as much information about a product as they want. And they're not getting nearly as easily finessed as they were in the past, where you have like the car salesman that will literally just finagle their customers. And that catches up to the market because now the consumer doesn't trust salespeople.
Yeah.
So the stuff that was getting taught in the 80s and 90s or even before, or even like early 2000s, I think it just doesn't work today because the average consumer, they don't want to buy a product, they want to buy a person. Like I firmly believe that I do a lot of my business, like business to consumer, just because people want to work with me because I genuinely want to work with that. It's not like, oh, I need a fatter commission check so I can buy XYZ. It's like, I just want to help this person, because when this person is happy, not only do they stay longer, not only do they give good reviews and send their friends, but like when my head hits the pillow at night, like it feels better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a real big one.
That's why people burn out. They don't actually believe in what they're doing. They know deep down that they're not doing the right thing for themselves. That's why I've been like so particular in crafting offers recently, whereas like I want to do everything that I can in order to make this person happy and make one customer turn to 5. That's why I'm flying places to film content. I don't know if I want to get into all of that right now with the offer, so I'm really liking the direction that we're going. But the more you can perfect your offer, the longer you're going to be in the game for, because you are super confident in it. Because you know that you're the one that the offer relies on to be successful. You're the one that's responsible for the client's happiness, so that you know that you put all the work in, you're able to sleep good at night. And I think that that's the end goal for all of us, is just be able to sleep well.
Yeah, dude. And I really, really do resonate in the sense as well. I've done some things in my day in the past and things I'm not proud of, and I take full ownership for, and I am doing the best that I can to go the opposite direction now. And I will, to my own detriment, walk away from business opportunities if they're out of alignment and if they're out of integrity with these core beliefs and values that I have. And that can be challenging when you're starting out as well. What advice do you give to people maybe in a similar situation to that?
You know better. It's the same thing as the point before. Like, you know what's up. You just need to act on your actual thoughts that you know what's up. Like, if you're selling something that you wouldn't sell to your mom if she was in a situation of somebody that would need that, why are you selling it in the first place? Like solar, I've done well over $1 million in revenue for sales before I turned 20. I was in solar for a month, and I was going door to door every single day, I got 0 sales. 0. It's the same sales ability. I still had studied and spent thousands on courses. I'd already generated probably over 100,000 at the time for myself in other industries. Why am I doing $0 in solar? Because I joined the company and they say, well, the less you know about the product, the more curiosity the customer's going to have, so you'll be able to sell them better. So I know nothing about it. Solar's already got this like stereotype around it of like, it's not that good. Just get a bunch of door-to-door guys trying to make money at your door. And that's what I felt like. So I sold nothing. So if you have something that you believe in, not only are you never really going to make more money because you're confident in it, because you're going to sell more, but like, again, you get to hit the pillow at night and it feels better when you're a good person. Like when you're not a good person, you're not doing things good at heart, you hit the pillow at night and it doesn't feel as good. But when you put in every single effort you could throughout the day, you did it all with integrity, you hit the pillow at night and it feels good, dude.
Is there any moments in your life that you haven't been proud of what you've done?
Yeah, solar. I felt like that pest at the door that like, people would tell you fuck off, and I'd be like, I hear you, bro. You're wrong. I'm like, dog, I got get on. Because that's the thing, I didn't believe in it at all. But if I knew that John could have his life changed by having solar panels on his roof, and his bill would inevitably be lower, I'd be like, John, I get that you want me to fuck off, but hear me out. But since I didn't believe in it, John, fuck out of here. Okay, John, I got you. I don't know the hell I'm doing either.
There was a really great impression of Jordan Belfort, by the way.
That was
All for Wall Street. It was coming through. It was really good. The good part of Jordan Belfort, the Zig Ziglar reference was, he had a quote which I've used thousands of times now. He says, you can get whatever you want in life as long as you help enough other people get what they want.
That was at the end of that chapter you showed me.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I forgot it was in there. Guys confirmed he has said this. That's thousands of people have read him saying it too.
And he was born in, I think he was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. So he's got this great Southern drawl. You can help everything. Oh, that's Bill Clinton. Sorry. Yeah, I'll try it another time. We will talk about what it is that you offer. We'll make sure that we get that. But
I feel like,
well, I think people are naturally curious, and it's not that you're trying to flog anything, because you've been inundated with work and your profile's far bigger than this podcast will make a dramatic impact, at least at this point. Eventually it'll get, Joe Rogan-esque. Yeah, and you'll be inundated. So it needs to be, we need not to date anything when we're talking to you about this stuff, because your trajectory, Danny, is stratospheric. There's probably no other way to describe it at the moment.
because I don't use my audience.
because you don't use your audience. Tell us more about that.
If you go on my page, there's not a single video that says click a link in my bio and buy something from me. There's not a single story that I put up that says swipe up and buy something from me. There's not a single course. There's not a single digital product. There's not a single thing that you can be attracted to my page for the content and then get converted into something else. Eventually, sure. Like when I have something that I'm like, every single 1.7 million of you will need, like a book. This guy. Oh, soon, bro. Soon. Well, until there's something where I'm like, I can give all of you guys this, and I know it's going to deliver, and I know it's going to be well worth it. I know each person's going to turn into 5 people because it was so good. I won't monetize the audience. I've used my Instagram for direct sales, where it's like I find somebody that absolutely needs what I have, and I can message them a genuine compliment about what they do, get on a FaceTime with them, build a relationship with them, and then if it seems like a good fit, and I know that they're going to benefit from it, then of course, like there's a sale to be made. We all need to get ours. But I've never used my audience, and there's nothing that you can buy from me off of my page, so people know that I just want to give value to the world. And Hormozy says this too, but he said goodwill compounds. If you keep goodwill, it compounds. And all of a sudden, like it's been working so far. I keep giving, and my life keeps getting better as a result. Keep meeting more cool people. I get on amazing podcasts like this, and
Nice.
and it's just a lot of fun. So I've never used my audience. I don't think I will. And if I do, I'll give them something for free that is more valuable than what people are charging thousands for.
Yeah.
Shout out my guy. Yeah. If Hormozy, if you're listening to this, bro, you stop me a lot.
Weird. Like, did you learn that from Hormozy, or was there someone else that you picked that up from?
I never felt good about selling on my stories and selling on my posts. Like I've never felt good about making a post and selling something from it. When the objective is to grow an audience, no. If the objective is to just generate sales, you don't care what anyone thinks about you, you don't care how much your audience likes you don't want to grow an astronomically fast audience, sure, like monetize them quickly. That's not my goal. My goal is to impact as many people as possible. And I appreciate you saying the trajectory is stratospheric, because I think it is too. And if I can keep this up and just keep giving, like it almost scares me a little bit where it could be at 26, 27. So if your goal is to monetize and you don't care what people think of you, and you don't care if you get bad reviews or Reddit thread about you, then absolutely, like, go rinse your audience for sure. That's just not me. So Hormozy saying that almost gave me like the permission to just like, yeah, like you can be really, really good at sales and really, really rich, but also not fuck your audience.
It's like the Cal Newport, like, be so good they can't ignore you kind of thing. Kind of ties into that as well. And I love that you do that. I love how switched on you are, man. Like despite the age, even if you were 51, you're still spitting some principles that people that are double that age haven't figured out. It's fascinating to me. Was there any one moment in your childhood that you remember where you were exposed to a mentor or a family member that shared some information that might have put you on this trajectory, you think?
I mean, my mom just taught me all this stuff. Hard work and integrity. Like, I'm talking about, oh, you just want to sleep good at night. You want to hit the pillow and feel good. Like, that all comes from my mom. She's like, half-heartedness never won a battle, and an honorable defeat is better than a dishonorable victory. Those were two things that were posted right on the fridge for all of us to see whenever we would want something to eat. So that was like ingrained into my mind. I said, always like, be a good person, work hard, continuously better yourself, and then good things will happen. And it's like, you listen to that from your mom, you trust that, and then it starts to reward you, and then you're hooked. Like, we're talking about DoorDash. Why do you think I was DoorDashing 16 hours a day, every single day for 6 months? Because I DoorDashed for 2 weeks, made $2,000, put it into Ethereum, and for crypto guys, I bought it in, I believe it was December of 2020 when it was $250, and it went up to $4,000. And boy, was I hooked. Like, you could, I was red pilled from there. Like, you should try to. There was no going back after that. So it was like trusting a mentor, which was my mom's my biggest mentor. Trusting that, and then seeing it work in live time and benefit you in live time. So you trust what she says even more. Just keep listening to her. She always said, like, treat your mother well. I'll listen to your mother. If anybody's watching this, like, do that also. But it just rewarded me in live time, and then I was hooked. There was no going back. I didn't want to watch TikToks. I didn't want to play Call of Duty anymore. I wanted to be DoorDashing. I wanted to be investing. I wanted to be learning more, and learning has always put me in the right direction. So now, like, I mean, the offer that we're working with right now, I won't even touch too much on it, but it was literally what I would do for fun on Friday nights. Like, I really understand this is why I have no friends back in Miami. Like everyone wants to go clubbing and stuff like that. I was in studying the $100 million offers from Alex Hormozi, like to a T. I've read it like at least 7 times, cover to cover, ridiculous amount of notes on it. And the offer that we're working with right now, the actual reason why I'm in Colombia in the first place to execute on one of these offers, was just a Friday night passion project of me reading $100 million offers and cooking up some different offers. And this was the one that hit. So it continues to reward me. So what am I going to do when the next opportunity to club or read comes up on Friday night? Well, clubbing, because obviously you live in Miami, you got to go out sometimes. Every time I've gone out clubbing, you wake up the next day at 11, you're hungover, you got 10 missed texts in the morning of people needing stuff, and it takes you another 2 hours to get ready for the day. You feel like shit, it throws off your sleep schedule, and you just don't feel good about yourself. You may have said things you didn't want to say because you were drunk, you don't feel good, you didn't end up in the gym that day. I don't find that fun. I didn't fucking have that much fun the night before. We were just out going, oh, it wasn't that fun. When I could have chose to read, stay home, I could have woke up at 6 the next day, I could have gone to the gym, I could have read some more in the morning, and then the person that was out clubbing, like, I'm going to smoke you. And it's not offensive to say that, because if you just look at the facts, I'm going to smoke you over a long enough time horizon. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep getting more fit. I'm going to keep putting more work in, and you're going to be hungover every Saturday morning and every Sunday morning. I'm going to smoke you. Please keep doing that.
What's your mum's name?
Judy.
Shout out to you, Judy.
Hello,
You
Mom.
did a great job, Mum. Or Mom, as I said. Mom.
I've never called her mom before.
Really?
Mom.
What? Oh, yeah. M-U-M is how we spell it. Where I grew up. Mum.
Mom.
Oh, good on you, Mum. Good on you, Mum. Dude, your energy is really contagious. And this is the thing I love about in-person podcasts. There's no substitute. Just the energy that there's a real natural charisma about you as well. I was curious to know if and I kind of asked you about this the other night, if it's been intentional developing this, or it's been organic.
I'd say it's a little bit of both. I've always had kind of like a swagger about me, and I think I've made a couple of videos about this, like whether it was on other podcasts that have gotten clipped up and put on my Instagram, or just like saying it to the camera. When I was growing up, I was the oldest in the neighborhood by 3 or 4 years. So it was me, my brother, and my brother's friends. And we would play wiffle ball, we would play basketball, and like 14 to 10 is a big difference. Like I would win at everything, regardless of what it was. So I always just thought I was like the best at everything. Obviously, we've gotten like more humble over time, but like at the time, I thought like you can't beat me in anything. None of these kids can beat me, even though they were 10 and I was 14 at the time. Like the other parents were probably like, "What is this guy doing? Like, go get some friends your own age." But that it gave me like the confidence and swagger to just like be myself. But over time, like you're never gonna be. There's also a good quote I learned when I was 14. I was at a baseball game. It's a single A baseball game. It was the Muck Dogs. That was like my little league team. We went to the game, and I wanted to like get an autograph from one of the players. I didn't even know who he was. I just like wanted to get an autograph from the player. This might be another person to find. Besides the thing, who looks at me, hands me back, goes, "Hard work beats talent, but talent doesn't work hard."
You may not know me, but let me tell you one thing. I don't care what you think. I'ma just do me, and I wanna hear you sing. I got
Preach. I think about that a lot. So it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. What happens when talent works hard? What happens when talent works harder than everybody else in every aspect? You fucking win.
You can't lose.
It's the work gives you the confidence. Like if somebody's talented, they may not be that confident because they don't have a stack of evidence behind them to prove that they should be confident. Like even if you're not that good, like one of my buddies, Chris back home, if you're listening to this, I have so much respect for my buddy Chris back home. He joined my sales team when we were both 18. And I closed my first deal I got on the phone with for social media. It was amazing. It was like the best feeling ever. I'm like, "Chris, you got to do this." I just made $30 from my phone. I'm like, he also DoorDash for me like 6 hours a day. I'd be racing so you could make more money with DoorDash. So you got to get into this, bro. He joins and he goes 0 for 39 on his first phone calls. 0 for 39. Like there was a point in time where I was like, bro, like I almost said this to him. I will never say this to anybody ever again. I almost said it to him, "Oh, bro, this is like not for you." Like it's not. I never said it to him. Thank you. Woo! But and I've told him this too. Like he's gonna listen to this from this clip and stuff. But he persevered, and he is now one of the top 5 sales guys at an organization of over 100. zero, I would say it's to his face too, like zero skill at sales to start, zero. He's been at other companies too and been like the number one rep for them. Like this dude's a dog, and it's all because like he works hard. Like he was a type of kid, like he was literally like fat and growing up. The people were bullying him, and this is a good story too. I want to tell this story for anybody that is like going through something they're not the best at and they want to be the best at. Chris was in 10th grade. I was in 11th grade. We both played volleyball, and at the beginning of each year, there was like a fitness test. And one of them was the mile. I would always win the mile like every year. I was like skinny kid. I could run fast, and it was always like a cakewalk. I was in 11th grade. Chris was in 10th grade. Chris was like overweight, last in the mile, like has to walk, like can't finish the whole thing without walking. It was really like how embarrassing. And it was like, yo, Chris, what you doing, bro? Like, why are you doing this? And blah, 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 blah. Next year comes around. Something clicked inside me. Like he got in shape, got in the gym, lost all the weight. Next year's mile comes around. I'm a senior, he's a junior. And I was just thinking, I was like, yeah, we're going to run this. This dude smokes me. He had got the mile from 10 and a half minutes to 5 minutes and 15 seconds in 1 year. He smoked. It was ridiculous. And like ever since then, like I get infinite respect for this guy. But hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It gets proven over and over again. So I think that you can, I know it's like a couple stories to get to one point of everything is trained. You have to train everything if you want to be at the top of the game.
High school for me was somewhat of a challenge. I failed physics form 2 years in a row, which is the second to last year of school. Third to last year of school. So it goes fifth form, sixth form, seventh form, and you finish it. So third to last. I got 2 exam results identical 2 years in a row in science and economics with the same curriculum. So on paper, it looked like I was an idiot, but it turns out I had a very improper diet that I was eating that was not aligned with my body, and huge amounts of trauma. It was like, so there was a number of reasons. You did a little bit better. Yeah, at least you went to college. And then what happened?
Well, dude, I left. It wasn't fun, but I think that it was a good experience. I don't regret going for 2 years. I met some of my best friends there that are like good people that I can talk to that are outside of business, which is really, really refreshing. Like good dudes. Got to play volleyball at the highest level. So it was definitely a lot of fun, but like on paper, like you were saying, you could look into my life as like a parent, or like one of my mom's friends, or like an aunt or an uncle could look at my life and be like, wow, this guy has it made. Not paying a dime to be at college in America, Division I scholarship for volleyball, perfect GPA, lives in New York City, like does all this stuff. I hate this shit. Like it was very easy to brag about me to your friends if you were one of my family members. Yeah, and that has progressively gotten a lot harder for them to do while my life has skyrocketed since I left. So it goes from you have all this stuff going on for you in college to drop out, pursue a career in social media full time, move to Florida, like crazy, right? Oh, this guy's in Colombia right now. What is this guy doing? It's more difficult to describe, and there's a lot of like negative stereotypes around it. So it's just another iteration of what you need to do better than anybody else. I knew that leaving that was the best thing that could happen to me. And everybody that was like close to me or like wanted to consider themselves close to me, it's like, did you even think about your future? Eat dog. That's all I think about. I hate it, bro. I hate it. I want to leave and do something on my own. So it was one of the things like nobody's going to tell you it's the right move if it's a big move like that. Like another one I'm considering right now is moving to Colombia. This is something I got to sit down and I got to sit down and really think about, because right now I've been here for 5 days and I'm hooked. I got to think that, is this a logical decision that makes the most sense for the business that I'm doing, the connections that I'm making, and the trajectory of the new offer that we have? Or am I just rah, Medellin is awesome. This is my first time out of the States after 5 days. So I think it could be a combination of both, but like, I knew what needed to be done with college. I wasn't even going to go in the first place. I took a gap year. That's when I was door dashing all the time. And then I just went because I got a scholarship offer. And I figured I'd be stupid not to at least test it out. So, yeah, do what you know you need to do.
Well, I suppose what's a single piece of advice that you can give someone that has a huge amount of family pressure but has a real strong innate self-knowing?
keep proving yourself to them over and over. Give them relentless and continuous evidence that you know what you're talking about. When I wasn't going to go to college at first, I graduated high school in 2020. So there was like COVID, didn't have a graduation. It was kind of shot. I was committed to go to a school, Division III volleyball, an hour away from home, and an international business degree, which I think is funny considering I dropped out and doing a lot of international business right now. But that's beside the point. That was what I was doing. I wasn't that pilled at all yet. It was, I'm going to get a business degree. I'm going to do business and I'm going to make money and I'm going to play volleyball at school. That was a great idea. 2 weeks before we were supposed to go to school at Keuka College in Keuka, New York. I couldn't even tell you where that is. I live in New York. I was excited for it. 2 weeks before, I get a call from the athletic director. He goes, hey, Dan, I got some news for you about the volleyball team. I was like, hell yeah, talk to me, bro. I've already got my roommate picked out. I've got all my stuff ready to go. I'm ready to go in 2 weeks. He goes, we're cutting the team. COVID happened. We had to remove 2 programs. Men's volleyball was one of them. Do you still want to come here? There's club volleyball. I'm sure some people will join the team and maybe you could do something with that. Really? Huh. My world is now crushed. What am I going to do? I was supposed to go to college in 2 weeks. I passed up a bunch of other offers to go to this one. And now those are all closed. They filled up all their spots. What am I going to do? This is bullshit. At the time, it was like the worst thing that could have possibly happened. But looking back on it, was the best thing that can happen to me. And to this day, I think somebody is watching out for me that made that happen. That was like a guiding hand. Like, no, bro, like you were meant for more than this. After that, I'm like, get chill thinking about that. Tell me about there. Shortly after that, I was like, okay, well, I'll take a gap year. I'll take a gap year. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll pay out school later. I get into DoorDash. DoorDash starts printing for me. The 1,000 week in DoorDash, throw it into crypto. The crypto goes up 4x. What the fuck? I'm a genius, bro. Guys, listen to my investing advice. Like, I just 4x my DoorDash money. I'm worth 50,000 at 18. Like, this is sick. Like, what? End up losing all that up and down multiple times, but that's beside the point. But I was hooked from there. Then it was, no, fuck college. I'm not going. I'm going to start my own business. I had a drop shipping business. I had an Amazon FBA business. I had a sneaker reselling business. I was trading options. I was trading NFTs. I was couch flipping. I tried everything. And I just wasn't going to school. Started to get into marketing for social media around 18. And it was right before I went to LIU for college. The school I actually ended up going to, LIU Brooklyn. It was going well. Played a volleyball tournament. Beach volleyball was a pro tournament. And the coach had came up to me and said, hey, like, good work. I like what you're doing. We're starting a new program at LIU. It's a D1 team. Like, we're going to have scholarship money. It's in New York. It's going to be really cool. I said, dog, you don't know who I am. I'm not going to school. And I didn't say it like that, obviously. But I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to school. It's not my thing. He goes, okay, well, let's at least, like, show you around. Like, come out to New York. At least see what you're missing out on. Great sales tactic. Great recruiter. I go out to New York. School is really cool. The gym's big. They got the locker room with my name on it. We go out to dinner, go to the Brooklyn Bridge. I look at my mom. My mom would always want me to go to school because my mom's an accountant. My dad's an engineer. It's very like school based. It like saved for me to go to school so I wouldn't have to pay anything. So it wouldn't be a burden. I'm looking at her. She's like, you're going to have your whole life to do business. You only get this opportunity once. I'm like, come on. I pass this off of logic barriers in my head. It's not some bullshit. Like, sure, we'll try it. End up going, putting social media on the back burner. Still posted a bunch while I was at school. Still grew the audience. But I was just there playing volleyball. That was the main focus. We had played against Hawaii, which was the #1 ranked team in the country. They won the national championship twice in a row. We took a set off them. I think I was telling you about the sports betting odds. You through the sports betting odds, vaguely, but for the audience, tell us again real quick. Okay, so for example, an underdog starts with a plus. So I bet $10 on a team that's plus 200, I'll win $20. I'll double my money. Our odds to win a set against Hawaii were plus 20,000. That means that if you were to put a bet for $10, you'd win $2,000 if we won a set. Pretty slim odds, right? Very slim. We go in there and we win one. We won as it was crazy. It was the biggest thing. We go in the locker room afterward, we're banging on the lockers and stuff. We didn't even win the game. We just want to sell. It was like the best thing ever. That was like an experience like to this day. I'll never forget. It was crazy. Got to do a bunch of cool stuff like that. Did well in school. Met some cool people. And then it was like the itch was scratched. I had an opportunity to do bigger and better things. Company I was working with, like, hey, we want you like playing a bigger role. Like, come down here to Florida. I want you to like be in this environment. I'm like, dude, yeah, like I don't like it here. I'm doing well, but I'm not going to finish this out. I don't want to spend 2 more years doing this. So dropped out, moved out here. Best decision I ever made. But I knew it. Like, there wasn't a question if it was going to work or not. Because if things didn't work and if there was turbulence, I was going to work my ass off to get out of it. Because I believed in myself enough and my abilities. Like, if I fuck this up 7 times over, like, I will get out of it. Like, I've made a lot of money at a young age, lost all of it in Ponzi's, made a lot of money at a young age still. I mean, this is still at 420, lost it on NFTs and option trading, made more money, lost it. And now it's like, okay, these investment funds are too good to be true. I get it now. So now it's just like, how can I keep investing into myself and into my business so that I can scale what's already been working? So I think that if I played my cards right, I definitely could be a millionaire at 21 right now. Like, right sitting here, I couldn't be, but like I've made it and lost it so many times. But those lessons will prove to be worth more than that in the long run.
Yeah, I think a millionaire is pretty short-sighted. Like, I'm imagining that there's going to be a B in front of whatever you're doing. Probably.
Inflation goes up high enough.
Well, let's put a T in front of everything, maybe. But
billion pesos.
Let's say, yeah, let's get you back on the show, and we'll give you 10 years.
10 years?
Actually, no, let's do 3. 3 years, right?
Okay.
We can jump earlier if you like. Let's do 3 years, and we'll just see what kind of trajectory. Because I think the knowledge, information, speed, AI, like it's all compounding, or it's like compounding value. You're talking about like things seem to happen faster, but then again, now I think about it, there's certain things that require consistent plugging away. And I want to ask you, on behalf of my wife and I, some business strategy suggestions, ideas. So we by the time this comes out, we will have launched a program called Purpose Partners for Life. And Purpose Partners for Life came about because Anna and I have gone through together unimaginable adversity and come out the other side successfully. And there's none of that stuff holds any dominion over us. And as a result of our relationship, thank you, man, our relationship has gotten stronger and faster and better. And as a result, and you just see the way that Anna was helping set up, she's like the producer and whatever, the director and whatever else with Aaron. We are seeing the value in working with couples that are quite far along. They already have all the material wealth, but they don't have the stuff that really fucking matters. And we see a big gap in the market for that. The question and the challenge that we have is that I'm a relatively new entrepreneur. I'm only a couple of years deep into this, and I've been doing a bunch of different things. Anna's only even newer. So what advice would you give us, just off the cuff, to the best of your knowledge? You can ask me more questions if you like. Would you recommend and how we go about this type of business? High end, high net worth, target audience.
How to go about it? Is it like how to find people or how to deliver the product?
Yeah, like even if you just want to focus on the Instagram side of things as a medium to attract.
Well, I think, dude, what you've done right now with your network is awesome. And I think that inside of your phone that you just showed me, there's 10 people who would absolutely need this. And if you delivered immensely on the product and way exceeded expectations, those 10 people would each have another 10 for you. And I think that I fully agree with you. There is a gap in the market for this. And if you ever come out with something on how to find them, you let me know. But either way, I fully hear you. There's a big gap in the market for this. And I think that if you deliver a great service and you fix people's marriages and relationships genuinely for high-level guys, dude, you're going to get referral after referral after referral. It's all a game of just turning 1 customer into 5. So if you can find your first 2 customers, service them for free, give them a ridiculous amount of value, those 2 are each going to know 5. Now you have 10 new customers that you can charge. And if you give those guys a great service, those 10, each of those 10 are going to have another 5 for you. Boom, that's 50. It's just a compound interest when you do a good job. Like, I'll come out here, meet all of you guys. I'm doing all the content. I want you to I'm living what I'm saying right now. I'm doing a lot of this stuff. I laid all of the groundwork for this offer for free. I went in the whole $10,000 to fly different places, film all the content, pay for all the edits, pay for all the marketing, invest a shitload of time. But those customers are bringing me ridiculous amounts of customers. And now I don't have to advertise. I don't have to leverage a huge sales team because people are just like, yo, You need to know this person. This person needs to know you. Bro, my boy John, he's a real estate billionaire. He actually has been looking for something like this. It's not trusted. So if you can have just such a killer offer and give it to a couple people for free at first, like they will be loudmouths about it. Loudmouths are good when you do good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Look, I suppose if I can probe you even further, like in terms of like one of the appeals about being in Medellin, we came to a retreat here, and we're at like the retreat center. You can rent it from them, and you can host 12 couples at one time. So we're thinking about doing that, and because we've been on the road for 2.25 years since we left Australia. We've been in 6 different countries, spent 3 months in India, and came across some stunning locations. So we're thinking about basically hopping around the planet, running maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of these retreats a year, and at these incredible money can't buy kind of experiences. Do you have any suggestions or ideas about having a virtual component in there as well? What else needs to kind of be a part of it, you think, to make it really successful?
Well, the best events that I've been to, and I'm speaking in tech or business, I've never been at like relationship retreats or anything like that, but the best events that bring in the most revenue for business are ones that have like the main thing in person, and there's like a virtual option that kind of like they get tossed aside. You can pay a couple $100 and like have the virtual thing. I think having it as an option is cool, as long as the people that are in the event in person don't feel like the virtual people are even there. Because you can bring in revenue from the virtual people, especially at higher quantities, and make those virtual people want to come to in-person events later because you did such a good job. But I don't think it should saturate the vision and the value that the people get in person. But what came to my mind right away when you said we've been to a bunch of these retreats and stuff like in Medellin and all around the world, I'm thinking, why don't you go to even more of those now and meet people? Because if people are at the retreat for a reason, right? Then there's things that they want to work out that's not in a perfect spot. Is that correct?
It's spot on. Yeah.
So that's how many people on average at a retreat?
There was like 20 at the last one, like 20 people, 20 couples.
10 minutes. Go to one event, service all the people there for free. They're going to know other people too. Like you have 10 people that are going to be loudmouths if you go to one of these retreats here in your hometown, home base. That is, you have 10 leads, service them for free. Those 10 people become loudmouths, and then you service everybody to the highest ability that you have, which is going to be awesome because you're sick, dude. It's sick family. It's just sick. And just keep repeating that. And you have these events all over the world. You can start hosting them. Like it will compound. Telling you, but I'll go to these events, bro. Shit, I'll come to you.
God, dude,
I'll hire somebody to come with me.
You love it. I would be concerned if you were there in true need of relationship help. Given you, so for all the ladies watching at the moment, what's your dating status? You married? Single? Ready to mingle?
I don't know about ready to mingle. If something absolutely slaps me in the face, like wow, I need this, then yeah. But right now, I think that I'm not quality enough to attract the quality that I want. So I need to continuously better myself, not only financially, physically, but like I'm not fluent in the 5 love languages. I'm not fluent in emotional intelligence, which from what I understand is what a woman needs. So if I'm not ready to give my best and I'm not where I want to be by myself and I haven't fulfilled my purpose, at least to a certain extent, why would I bring that on somebody else? Like there's stuff in the past that like hasn't worked for this exact reason. So I don't want to go down that path again because I know that I need to be better. So why don't I just continuously better myself? And then when the right person comes along, I will be able to attract and retain, as opposed to like the right person comes along, I'm 21, now where I need to be, not emotionally intelligent at all. And then I'm just like, oh, wow. And that happens out of it. So I need to turn myself into the man that can attract what I want. So ready to mingle,
whatever. I think you're probably being a little bit too harsh yourself. I think you would probably astound yourself at if you wanted to put yourself out there, but you know, you're doing your thing. So I've got to respect that.
Being hard on myself is a behavior that's rewarded me in the past.
It's serving you well, dude. I'm all about the elimination of negative self-talk out of my vernacular because I used negative self-talk, validation seeking, and self-deprecating language incorrectly for a long time. So I'm going the other way. So
correctly though is a good thing though, no?
Well, for example, like I run, I got a couple of masterminds. One of the rules of being in the mastermind is that if you use any negative self-talk in the mastermind, it's a $10 fine. I got that from Jack Canfield. he talks about having a swear jar at home, but you use it for negative self-talk, because many people talk about themselves in a way that they would never speak to their friends. And what happened after about 30 days, you start to become hyper aware of how you talk about yourself, but then you start noticing how people around you start talking. And this can be a really important role in cutting certain people out of your life, because you're like, actually, I don't like being around negative Nelly over here. No. And like you're out, mate. You're out. So that was kind of the context. So it's something that I love bringing to attention. It's an interesting dichotomy.
I agree with that. I think that there are people that destroy themselves with self-talk, but I have another Hormozyism that I like because I think it applies to me. It says that the ultra successful people over a long enough time horizon have three qualities in common. One is that they think they're better than other people. Like, they have a sense of like self-confidence. They think they're better than their peers. And the complementary one is that they think they're inferior. Like, there's an insecurity that's pocketed deep away, that it's like, I need to be better. I'm never going to be good enough. And when those two combine, it becomes something dangerous. And the third one is impulse control, which is the one I'm currently working on. But
you me too, bro.
yeah. But I think at least from my experience in the information base that I'm operating from, I think that being hard on yourself is good. If you're too nice to yourself, you'll let yourself be comfortable.
Amen, brother. Amen. Danny, how do people get a hold of you, man?
Coolness. COOLNESS. It's my handle.
That's
that was the best investment I've ever made. And I'm not even just saying that because it sounds cool. I'm saying that because of the brand that I was able to build with the handle. So if you're on the fence about a branding staple for yourself, and it seems like a lot at the time, do it. I bought Coolness, this handle. I will say this, and then we'll wrap up. If you want to go away. But I'll have it too much fun there. I was in college, and I had just lost a very sizable amount of money in the Ponzi scheme. I was down to like about $1,000 or so in college, not making too much. Business is slowing down. I'm in a Telegram channel that's selling OG usernames, like cool usernames, cool Instagram handles. One of them pops up. Coolness, $700. I look at my buddy Dylan, who I was working with at the time. I'm like, I should do this, no? It's like, bro, it'd be cool. Like, that's a lot. I'm like, that's 70% of my net worth on an Instagram user. And I was like, fuck it. Got it. Sent the dude the Bitcoin, transferred it over, and it was by far the best investment I've ever made. I could go on podcasts where at Coolness, I can meet people at an event. You're like, what was your handle? Coolness. No, it's not. It is.
And it is really cool. It is really cool. It is really cool. In honor of your advice, I just changed my Instagram to Laban.
Really? It's available.
Well, it's the name. So, you know, the display name. Like, I've got Laban Ditchburn.
Okay.
Laban means yogurt in Arabic. True story. So, like, it's quite often taken by yogurt companies in Arabic and speaking countries. So, like, it also means to show fight in Filipino. It's like Laban. But Laban Ditchburn is the only combination of those names anywhere on the internet. That's awesome. So, but I just got Laban. I like that. So I'm mucking around. I unfollowed a bunch of people. Like I'm going to be way more intentional rather than the doom scrolling.
It's cool.
So
I saw you posted a lot more content on it. Yeah. I was inspired. Come on.
I was inspired, man. I was inspired. This has been incredible. But I'm curious to know. Unfortunately, we do have to pick a time to wrap this up, and we're probably running out of hard drive space. And it's been awesome. But what concluding thoughts do you have for our amazing audience today?
Said it a few times, but if anyone's tuning in right now, you know what you need to do. Just execute on it. Don't overcomplicate it. You have the data set in your head already that you need to succeed. You're just not executing on it. So when we're watching this, whether you're in college, you hate it, whether you're out of college, you hate your job, whether you're older and you know you need to wake up and you know what you need to be doing, just do it. Just execute on it. Like, who cares? The only people, like, 'cause I've gone through this too. You're thinking about Jim from high school that you don't even talk to, that you didn't even like when you were in high school. Oh, was Jim going to send to Joe if I post this Instagram story? Jim might send it to Joe and they're going to laugh in a group chat then because I posted something about my business, or I posted a skit, or I did what I needed to do. Who gives a fuck about Jim and Joe? Unfortunately, we do sometimes, but it's just getting over that and understanding that Jim and Joe, neither will be at your funeral. And even the people that are close to you will be there, but probably on the way back home, think about the things that they need to do later on in the day. So listen to yourself and listen to people who have exactly what you want to have in a certain aspect.
Ladies and gentlemen, coolest.
I love it. Appreciate it, man. I love it. Thank you, man.